Hey everybody, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. So, I just want to touch a little bit more on the whole Nazi debacle in Parliament that happened last week, and Pierre Poilievre is again back on the attack. As soon as they came back to question period on September 18th, Pierre Poilievre is just continuing to put pressure on Trudeau, and then of course Trudeau's been putting a lot of unnecessary and pressure on himself by doing really stupid things. So I just want to play like a small clip here about Pierre Poilievre really just exposing the corruption of Justin Trudeau and this whole Nazi gate, whatever you want to call it.
The Prime Minister is seen as a clown on the world stage, but whether you blame him or the Liberal Speaker for recognizing a Nazi on the floor of the House of Commons, we all agree that it took him 5 days while he hid under a rock and let our reputation be torn to tatters. Why was he more concerned about protecting his personal reputation rather than defending the nation's?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Every member of Parliament actually recognized that it was the Speaker's responsibility. That's why they called upon him to resign, and that's why he did resign. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, so that was just a short clip there, but what's interesting about that the lady who was speaking, I actually went to high school with her. Now again, I have nothing against her, no issues, disagree with her on her politics, of course, but she was always a very nice person. I got nothing bad to say about her personally at all. But what I do have to say is how much of a coward Justin Trudeau is. He should be where he belongs in Parliament answering for this absolute debacle. But instead, he's off hiding. Where is he, at his cottage or something? Dude, didn't you just go on vacation? Like, you got work to do. But instead of doing that and answering to Canadians, what does he do? He puts up a pregnant woman. Now, again, I'm not a woman, certainly not a pregnant one, but I imagine that when you're pregnant, the last thing you want to do is have a lot of stress. And that's got to be a stressful thing to have to answer for a mistake that she did still make a mistake by applauding without vetting the person first. As soon as you see you're 98 years old and you've fought in World War II, make sure you ask which side they were on first. So that's still an error on all their parts. But that being said, Trudeau should be there answering for that, not someone who works for him, and certainly not someone who's pregnant who doesn't need the stress. This just shows how much of a garbage person Trudeau really is. I mean, he's shown it in a bunch of different ways, but now it's just like what defenses does he have? And in terms of Pierre Poilievre, I do have a bit of an issue with him not demanding the resignation of Justin Trudeau. We all know he should resign, even before this happened, but especially now, and Pierre Poilievre needs to start hammering down that point. He needs to resign. We need to have an election so that we can fix this country, at least financially. I mean, this is getting out of hand. And for all the social issues that Liberals like to complain about, well, you've never seen a Conservative cabinet and a Conservative Prime Minister invite a Nazi into Parliament and then give them a standing ovation. That's never happened. Ever since 2015, when a certain former president made that walk down the escalator and announced that he was running for president, we've heard nothing about left or right-wing fascism, right-wing Nazis. Oh, really? So there were Nazis at the Freedom Convoy, apparently. Well, now we know that's not true, because if they were at the Freedom Convoy, Justin Trudeau would have been there to give them a standing ovation, because now we know how he feels about Nazis. He knew about this guy. I don't care what he says. He had to know, and if he didn't somehow, then he's an idiot. It's very simple to ask the question, okay, you fought in World War II. Very important to understand and vet a person to see which side they were on. Oh, we fought against Russia. Okay, and which unit did you work for? Oh, I was in the Waffen unit in the SS. That's a Nazi. I mean, it's unbelievable how easy it would have been to just avoid this completely, but they're so incompetent. Most governments and politicians are incompetent, but I mean, this is just, it's embarrassing. And instead of Trudeau trying to restore the reputation of Canada and Canadians like Pierre Poilievre said he should be doing, and he's right, He's like, oh no, this isn't my fault, Trudeau says. The other day he mentioned Russian disinformation. I mean, he just, I mean, he's used the words disinformation so many times. It's like that word doesn't even have meaning anymore. I mean, he's just such a moron, and this guy's got to go, and it's got to go before the next scheduled election, because this is 2 more years of this is insane. We need change, and we need change now. So, anyway, guys, that's going to be it. This is a bit of a shorter video, but I hope you enjoyed it. Definitely let me know what you think in the comment section and what you think should happen to restore the reputation of Canada. And I'll see you guys later.